What's going on, guys? TJ here again. Welcome to my review of the Nintendo Switch Lite. Now, this little guy is the original Switch's baby brother. It is a smaller, more compact, way more comfortable version of the Nintendo Switch, but it has a couple caveats. In this video, I'll explain those caveats. I'll answer all these questions. So let's jump right into it. If you haven't seen the Nintendo Switch until now, or the Nintendo Switch Lite until now, I'll show you an in-depth look at the hardware in just a second. But this thing is just so comfortable. I spent at least 3 hours the other night playing it in my chair, just sitting there playing it. I could have never done that on the original Switch in handheld mode. So, how compact is this thing? Well, I have to do this. If you know how much I love pocket shirts, I have to do this. Look at how compact it is. It fits right into the shirt pocket. Now, all kidding aside, I wouldn't put that into pants pockets though, because you could potentially damage the little analog sticks. But I had to put it in my shirt pocket just to show you how compact it is. So, with that being said, it is just one of the most comfortable handheld systems I've ever played in all my years of buying these things. And I owned the PSP, the PS Vitas, all that good stuff. But this really just takes the cake in terms of comfort and ease of use when it comes to playing it for long periods of time. And that really is the selling point here. That's why Nintendo created this in the first place, because there definitely was a need for someone that just wants a handheld device and doesn't intend to play it in TV mode at all, which isn't really my use case. I do play my Switch games on my OG Switch on the TV still, but this is excellent for all the other times that you just want to play it in handheld mode. Way better solution for that, because this guy here, the OG Switch, is still great in a lot of ways. By all means, it's still an excellent device. But the problem is that it is way too cumbersome in the hands for long-term play in handheld mode. So, for that reason, this little guy exists. And let's jump into a little bit more about the design of this Switch Lite. The Switch Lite's compact unibody form factor is not only its defining feature, but probably the biggest reason why somebody that already owns an OG Switch will want to invest in it. In my case, it was just because the OG Switch feels so cumbersome in the hands during long periods of handheld play, and I found that actually discouraged me from playing my Switch games in handheld mode altogether. Though with this Switch Lite, it has essentially solved that problem while creating a new one. The new problem being that now we have two Switches to talk about here, and it kind of presents an odd situation because you really don't need two Nintendo Switches. And this Switch Lite doesn't actually switch, which is odd that they still called it a Switch. So, what do you do with a Switch that doesn't switch? Well, as I said, it just does handheld play, and that's it. And if you've been looking or waiting for something like that, then the Switch Lite is all for you. And I personally love this. I'm absolutely in love with the design. It is just the perfect size. I played for 2 or 3 hours straight, which is something that I never did on my OG Switch in handheld mode. So it has already proven to be well worth the $200 for me. Let's go ahead and show you what this design entails. So it's obviously the turquoise model. You can also get it in gray or yellow. For me, turquoise is where it's at. It's just a really nice color on the eyes. It goes nicely with the display. It's not something that's going to be too distracting. But yeah, so it features obviously a unibody design that's not going to have Joy-Cons, so any games that require the Joy-Cons, you'll have to, of course, buy another set of Joy-Cons to be used with it, but even then it's not going to be an ideal experience. So it's pretty safe to say, just stick to handheld mode games for this Switch Lite. Now, this does connect to USB-C, that again looks like that camera movie, but this does connect to USB-C, but it is key to note here, this does not dock. It is not dock compatible. It will not connect to your TV. This is meant to be and designed to be only a handheld device by Nintendo. Now, that fact is also my biggest criticism of the Switch Lite. And it's not a criticism to be taken lightly, no pun intended. And I'll explain why later in the video. But this display is 5.5 inches. It looks fantastic, beautifully crisp. It looks slightly better than the OG Switch's 6.5-inch display because, again, it's condensed into a smaller screen area. So it just looks really good. And the design of the Switch Lite itself is just fantastic. It feels great in the hands. You can absolutely buy some grips for this if you want to play it for extended periods of time and you do feel like maybe it's still not as comfortable as you wish. I know in my case, I didn't feel that way. I think it's comfortable enough just as it is. But again, if you want to, you can get a couple of different styles of grips already, either from Amazon or Best Buy. Hurry or HORI makes a lot of grips. I think they're like $15 or so on Amazon. So that's not bad. But even if you don't get a grip for this, it's still going to be very comfortable in the hands. I can testify to that. I have hand coordination issues along with bone issues caused by my medical condition, and so I can testify it's definitely more comfortable than the OG Switch. So that gives you a quick rundown of the comfort of it. As I mentioned, it does connect to USB-C, and of course right there you do get the SD card slot. Whoops, we're doing a tipsy-turvy camera here today. Sorry, guys. But yeah, this is the SD card slot here. And of course, on top, you have the game card slot. So you do get that, but you don't get a kickstand, which is okay, because really, the kickstand sucked on the LG Switch anyway, and you wouldn't want to use something this small in tabletop mode anyway. So, if you're looking for those features, the LG Switch is still where it's at. But, again, I think once you get enjoying the comfort of this size, you really don't miss those added features of the LG Switch. But I do want to give a quick comparison, a size comparison, if you will, to the OG Switch. So this kind of gives you an idea. Now, there's no way to really do it easily, but you can just kind of see, like, I guess I could put that down, and then put this in here, and do it that way. Yeah, let's do that. So you can kind of just see a general idea. It doesn't look all that smaller in comparison, but I promise you it feels it. It feels so much more comfortable in the hands. And that's not to say that I have nothing but negative things to say about the LG Switch, because I don't. I still have a general fondness of the Joy-Cons. I like that it's interchangeable. You can give a friend a Joy-Con and play something like Mario Kart. And so the features of the OG Switch cannot be dismissed either. But it's just that it is so cumbersome in the hands for long periods of handheld play that there is definitely a need for this Switch Lite. And Nintendo saw that. And so I guess it's okay to love both. I mean, if I'm being honest, I actually have come to love the Switch Lite a little bit more, just for its design. But yeah, so that gives you a quick look at the physical comparisons of the two, and there's still a lot more to talk about. With all that being said, I do feel like Nintendo made one big mistake with the Switch Lite, and that was their decision to not make it dock compatible. There's no reason that we as consumers couldn't go out and buy a Switch Lite dock, if that's what they wanted to sell us, and still use this on their TV. I think it's a real shame, because here's my argument, and maybe this is logical, maybe it's not, but here's what I'm saying. I feel like they really shot themselves in the foot long term, because people that buy the Switch Lite are still not going to go out and spend another $300 on another Switch that does dock to the TV if all they want is to have handheld mode most of the time. So in essence, all Nintendo really did was just make sure that the buyer really has no other option than just handheld mode. And that's a real shame. I feel like it's always best to give consumers options. And if they wanted to give us a handheld only experience, that's fine. But they should have still had that dock compatibility with, I don't know, somehow design a light only dock that would still cost probably $8 to buy from Nintendo, and you could still do it if you wanted to use it on the TV once in a great while, whatever. But I feel like Nintendo was so concerned on not cannibalizing the sales of the OG Switch, the standard $300 Switch, that instead they just gave us no option for TV mode with the Switch Lite. And that's a real shame, because that's the only criticism I have. Other than that, the Switch Lite is fantastic. For $200, it's a great value. It comes in 3 amazing colors: blue, turquoise, yellow, and gray. It feels fantastic in the hands for long-term use. There's all these great things. And if it just had TV mode, it would be a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. But because it doesn't dock, I give it a 9 out of 10. Which is still pretty great. So that being said, I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video. Until then, peace out for now.